Hey Oleg,
Hello.
nice to see you. You know who I am, Dr. Maya Elephant. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a mental healthcare practitioner. So you came in to see me, and some
Yes.
very fascinating things happened. And I don't record these videos too much anymore, but I thought your story was really interesting, so I wanted to capture it. So, how did you find the hypnosis?
Very interesting and different from what I expected because it was just a conversation.
Yeah.
I felt like it's a hypnosis, but I realized that it was after a while, not when I was there.
How did you realize that it was?
Uh, well, after the second visit, I started feeling this, what you call the exchange of whatever it is inside our head or inside our soul, that it was easier to find out what's happening second time, because first time it just felt like your head is heavy and you're kind of tripping a bit, and like I felt like I just falling asleep, but in a different
Mm-hmm.
way. And then I
That's good.
realized that it was that, I guess.
You realized that
uh,
it was.
that was what hypnosis is, was you, I mean,
And
because
how
that's
does
the
it?
only hypnosis I ever had, so I
Yeah,
guess that
right.
was that.
Well, and so how did the hypnosis work? How did it, what was the impact?
Well, I think it's just helped me to get rid of the things that I've been reacting to too much, like in my past. Like my past was still so present,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just hard to. It's just the past, but it's just always with you. It just stands with you all the time. So
Yep.
a lot of that developed, like OCD, anxieties and stuff. So and then it just helped me to just really make it a past. And what's most important thing about it was that I stopped reacting emotionally to it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so to me, it just became like a memory. But what also was interesting, that a lot of bad memories were prevail, but after I realized there's a lot of good memories about it. So it's also make it not as bad. And I think that's was the most important part of it, that all of the sudden is just you realize not every day was that bad, or like not, like there was a lot of good things as well.
Yeah, a
So
lot of
it's
more
instant.
perspective.
Yeah, it's like some part of your memories open up again and been blocked or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
And I mean, I agree with what you just described. I think that's exactly what hypnosis is about, and about recalibrating the way relate to your life and relate to yourself. And but that's still a lot that you said, like a lot of things occurred, right? How did you feel about that? Was it hard? Was it tiring? Like, what is your reflection on going through all of that and coming out of it feeling better?
At first, it feels you reveal because you get rid of a lot of things that you wanted to, and but since after the time started to pass, you realize that the way you are, a lot of, well, at least it's about myself, is me, is my past. Was it, maybe it was too much, or but anyway, I think who we are, it's also part of it is our past. But then
Yeah.
when so many things changed about the past, then you kind of have to rebuild yourself. And it's a bit weird because now you have to find, like I have to find what is important, like what is that.
Yeah. Who you really are.
Yeah, like who you are. Yeah, you can call it who you are.
I mean, I don't know how much you want to reveal to, people who are watching, but like I thought it was interesting some of the stuff you told me about what you changed once you went home, like what happened. So are there any of those details that you can share comfortably?
Yeah, I mean, I completely, like I arrived home and then I felt like a lot of things look different, and a lot of like I get rid of all my clothes, for example, that I used to wear, and not because I felt like, oh, I'm just changing my life, blah blah blah. I look at it and I feel like I don't know why, I just don't like it. Like I don't like it anymore.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then I even about the clothes, like I went to the store and it seemed like it's yes or no. It's become easier to choose, and you're like really
Yeah.
you don't really need to explain to yourself, but you see things, and then like I know I will like it. Like before, it's like you see things, you buy it, and then you don't like it. Like and you were like, why did I do that? But now you know, it's like if I like it, I will like it, and easier to
Yeah, things
decide.
are clearer. Right. I love that. That's such a good detail. Yeah. Do you get a sense of relief from that? Like, has it improved the quality of your life?
Yes, I mean, and I think it's about when we talk about the food and
Yeah.
you were asking me like a message like why did you like what's and I was thinking why is the thing I think maybe to me it was because I developed OCD quite early in my life, and when you have like, to me it was like when I have OCD I think you just try to stick with something because you're
Yeah.
afraid to change,
That's
because
right.
you just so
That's right.
much in yeah you're afraid to change things, like you say like oh my god, like if I change it's everything's gonna fall
Right.
apart, things gonna be worse. So I think for me was like when we talk about like eating certain food and then completely switch to a different type, it just was trying to like
Right.
find out that it doesn't make any sense. And now, I mean, after a while, I can do both. I know it's not about taste preference or anything. It just was trying to prove myself. Like before, I was proving myself that OCD really works. And now I'm proving myself that OCD doesn't make any sense. And I
Oh, I
think I
love
believe
that. That's great. That's good. That's very good. I love
that's
that.
how, especially when you were asking me, I didn't give it a thought, but then I started thinking about it, and that's what I came up with.
Yeah. Right. So in the end, the hypnosis reversed the problem totally,
Yeah,
completely.
I think maybe especially when I just doing that is like it's just OCD. You try to change things. You follow the same pattern, and now you just saying like I can do this, I can do that, I can try this. So you want to break this habit. You keep breaking it by just doing things and prove yourself that it doesn't make any sense. Like to
I often tell people on the discovery call with me, I'm not a hypnotist, I'm a dehypnotist, because you already have the hypnosis that you started with. So that's a very good example of it, where the OCD became the opposite. I love that. What about with
yeah.
your professional life? Do you feel like an improvement? Do you feel a change?
It's easy. It's easier because yeah, my professional life is really depends on the state of mind, and
Yeah.
I think even think like it doesn't feel like easier doing that, but easier to take it. Yeah,
Right.
that's hard to. But
No, I know what you mean though. No, the profession isn't easier,
like
but
I
the
have a
doing.
feeling. Yeah, no. I just start having feeling. Even if I'm concerned about how the thing's gonna go, I still have enough courage to like face it and
Yeah.
just not do not freak out too much about it. And I know like I can. It's gonna be fine in the end. And it's easier. No, it's changed. It definitely changed in a better way. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Are you surprised by what you ended up finding out? Like, is that what you thought would be the remedy for the problem you started with?
Mm, yeah, a little bit, I think. But yeah, I think the biggest part about it is just you have to re like find out again about yourself more things. And it's strange because now again about like OCDs and fears. Now it feels like you can do a lot more things. Like we can do more things. So and then it makes it harder because before you only stick with one thing and everything was like clear and
Right. Now you have more choices.
you have
Yeah.
to so too many choices, let's say. comparing, all right? And it's definitely doesn't make it easier world in that sense, you
I
know.
agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And I think that's an interesting point that you make because people sometimes think, "Oh, it's magic and everything will be perfect." Like, no, it doesn't mean that. It just means that you're gonna have more potential that you can explore and more confidence doing it. It doesn't mean that the whole journey will be simple.
No, yeah, it doesn't. That's what it felt like this for real at the beginning, but then you start to realize that it opens up new things that you need to solve. Yeah, which is fine because I think in general that feeling of still being calm and being grounded with yourself, it's still better than and have those truths, and still better than just kind of lose yourself. It's like I felt like before, like I've been living outside of myself. It's like I'm on top of like somewhere in my throat. I'm there all the time. And now I like, went down, like I feel my body in the same way. So, and I think that you
Well,
were saying if things go wrong, you kind of go deep inside yourself, like you find yourself there. And I really understand because I read about it many times, but I could never understand what it's exactly about. But now I know,
yeah.
like, what, yeah.
That's important what you just said because sometimes people think, oh, it will work inside the session only, but it's not true. It's like it gives you a door that you can go through the rest of your life,
Well,
really.
I think it really depends on you as well because
Yes.
just to be there and yes, things work, but then you have to keep it
Yes.
flowing, like keep working. And you told me
Yeah.
that you have to keep and the better you work with it, I think the better results you get in the end.
I love that you said that. You're absolutely right. I do not create the whole thing. The client has a lot to do with exactly what they get out of it.
Because as you remember, after I just saw you, I was messaging you a lot, and just like every message was kind of whoa, wow, like I
Yeah,
discovered this.
it continues. That's part of it, by the way. I mean, those are all part of the same process that I'm using and teaching. What do you think of the speed? Like, do you think it's even as the practitioner, I'm still surprised how fast it works. In your case, I was really surprised because you had really good results and then you had even better results, and that was really it. So, what did you think of that? Was that surprising to you how fast it was?
Well, yeah, but I think again, maybe I was ready for it,
Yeah,
and
you were.
if there's some kind of destiny or whatever, at some
Yeah.
point that day felt like as if everything being planned for it to happen, and it's I don't know, maybe sound crazy or not, but it was way too a lot of things like connected way too like it's like being planned, and yeah, it's felt.
I remember afterwards you texting me that you had a feeling like it was so there were so many things that fell into place that you felt like it was really part of your destiny. I remember you telling me that early
Yes.
on.
Is it like I knew it was supposed to happen because if you talk about like I give certain example right now, like the clothes that
Yeah.
I bought like years ago and I never wear it because I felt like it's never the right time. I couldn't explain to myself
Yeah.
what's the right time, like what is it. But then after I we had the session, I found out oh, that's probably the right time. So
And then you
that
wear
would
it?
if like well, maybe it was planned, right? Of course not, but I mean, the way I knew, like, I felt like it might never happen, right? But, and I might never wear this clothes, for example, but in my
You kind of
head,
knew you would,
felt
right?
like something that's supposed to happen that,
Right.
I don't know, make things better, like, like,
No, I
getting,
understand. Your subconscious does contain that kind of information, and I'm not surprised that you can see it now in retrospect. That doesn't surprise me.
yeah.
Why did you seek hypnosis to begin with? What was your purpose?
Uh, well, I mean, we got a cat, so I had the cat allergy. So I talked to the person who said he took a hypnosis for a cat allergy, and it's helped. And then I was looking online, and then I saw you, but I realized, oh, there were a lot of things listed like that you work with, and I felt like, oh, why wouldn't I touch this problem? So in the end, I didn't really care about cat allergy at all. Even I think I completely forgot about it when I even we were talking first time.
I remember.
I don't think we talk about it at all. It's like everything went to kind of like direction. I told you exactly what I want, and you were like, yes, okay, we can try that, and then that, yeah, then we had a meeting. We didn't touch this topic, but that's how it started. Like for me, like, oh, the hypnosis itself, the word hypnosis in my head being created by just another person, and was doing it for a cat allergy.
It's so funny. So it led you to a whole different place, actually.
Yeah, and that's why I felt my thought like about the cat like itself is just, it's like, oh my god, like I know I have some allergy, I have some, like, might have problem, but in the end I was like, if I didn't take this cat, I would we would not talk right now. That's
Yeah.
100% true too.
It
Yeah,
was a funny story, though, because you ended up solving problems that you had not even started with.
yeah, and I think all these decisions being I've been taking them really instantly. I never thought
Yeah.
about doing it or not. When
Right.
I taking care or not, it's just my girlfriend found the marketplace or whatever been posted. We went to got a cat. I never thought about do it or not.
Mhm.
Somehow it just we would never. I was like, no, no cats. And then we're like, okay, let's get a cat. Why? I don't know. And then when I saw you among of all the others, it's
It's
like
the
I saw
same
you. I was
thing.
like, it is. It was not. I didn't give a thought. It's because I do a lot of things that I don't give a thought. I just decide things. That's how I am as well. But
Do
yeah,
you feel more relaxed in your life overall now? Like, do you feel
yes,
more
yes.
functional?
Feel more relaxed, but at the same time, as I said, it
More
doesn't make it
challenging?
easy. It's challenging. It's still challenging. It's Yeah, but I mean, probably. I think another thing that I realized like a few weeks after the first session is, do you remember I texted you that I said, "Oh my god, I felt like I was so like childish, like I was not mature." I think I
Oh,
used
yeah,
it
I
before.
do remember that. Yeah, mhm. And now?
Well, and then I realized that I mean, I mean now I'm less introvert because I realized like, wow, it's like I really all these thoughts. I think, yeah, it's like some thoughts like, how could you think this way? It's like you're almost 40 years old guy and then you think this
Why
way. It's
bother
just like
having those thoughts? So did you end up stopping having them?
I think that was mostly about OCD, right? Now,
Yeah, right.
yeah, I had
So you don't
OCD.
need to waste your time anymore because you've outgrown it. So you actually are more mature than you thought.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like sometimes I had good periods with OCD, but like you still have thoughts, but you make yourself do not react to it. But now I don't have thoughts. Like I don't even. It doesn't
That's
even.
amazing. I love that. That's so great. What I'm really excited about it too, because to me, that wasn't part of your primary objective. I don't
No.
that was not your main intake reason that you were coming. So you ended up undoing the main
Yeah,
problem in the process of finding that out.
I think it started when the last time I went to my home country and saw my parents. Since then,
Okay.
I building in my head that it has to be resolved. And
Is it resolved now?
yeah,
Do you feel it?
that's totally that's what I'm saying. I don't feel anything about it, which is great. It's like you got
Amazing.
a shout out and then like you don't care.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's weird, but I like it this way. Maybe in the end I will
I don't
find.
think it's weird. I think it's great. I mean, and it might change again too, but for now it's
Yeah,
good.
I don't think it's great to, even if it's bad, but like do not care at all. It's strange what's happened to like, but I think it's right way because it's a past. So, and that's what was a big part we talk about is just
Yeah.
make a past a past.
Yeah, have a
And I
neutral
think
view.
that's how normal it's supposed to be. It's just for me, it's never been this way, right? For me, it was like it's always been happening, like always been happening in my head. Like
You're
whenever I
describing
think about
this is
it, it's
exactly
just
what
like
you have it right. That's what this process is about. It's like letting things find the right places, getting perspective on them, letting them change with relationship to who you are now. That's it. I mean, that's a good description of it. And is there anything else you want to say about what happened to you or how it felt or that people something people who would not have done it might want you to tell them?
I think also accepting yourself the way you are and not necessarily make yourself being as good as possible in the other people's eyes, and
Yeah.
like feeling good in being bad, but it's just because it's that's you are. So you're not
Right.
gonna deny yourself in order to make someone feel
Right.
better.
Right. Mhm.
To say it's part of me. It's easy. It's hard. It sounds like kind of not a good thing, and but you realize that doing not the greatest thing probably is better than denying yourself, because as soon as you deny yourself you start creating those things that you we were had to get through while I was there. So that's I
Right.
think big, to just be yourself. If you this way, you better be this way, because if you start being like someone else, then you not you that's it, like that's not a good way to do it. And
How
now I see clearly. Yeah.
how much effort or how much energy did it take the hypnosis to help you to see that fact of that, like, okay, I can just be myself and that will work the best?
Mm, well, that feeling again. It came later, like
Good.
to realize the
Right.
the energy.
After you had let go of some stuff and gone through it.
Few weeks or so. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's really normal. That's called processing. It's like a time where your mind recalibrates itself. And I think some of those changes you had were in that time too, like the, flavor of apples or whatever was a little later on when things started to evolve for you. That's very normal. I call it like a domino effect, like you push the dominoes in the session and then as you go on, lots of things happen. And I mean, I haven't lived my whole life yet, so I can't say my whole life, but that's what I experience is like it just keeps going. Like I've had sessions years ago that still I have some
Mm,
impact from them. So I think you'll be finding out more and more. It'll continue. Anything else you want to say or share or anything that I left out?
mm, I don't know. I think we pretty much covered
Thank you so
the main.
much. I really appreciate you sharing your, time and experience and letting people know what it's like. So I appreciate you. Thanks for coming.
You,
I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
you too. Bye.
Bye.